Shalom, shalom. In today's video, we will be discussing the 4 deaths of Samael. For those who are interested, they can follow along by going into book 22, and we'll be on page 174. And it opens up and says, the following precept is to punish by sword, by strangulation, by stoning, and by fire. Whom do you punish by the sword? Samael. As it is written, for my sword stayed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Edom. Yeshayahu 34:5. And here the commentary says, meaning over Samael, who is the minister of Edom. So what does this mean? This means that there are 4 worlds, which are Asiya, Yetzirah, Berea, and Atziluth. Punished by sword equates to Asiya. Punished by strangulation equates to Yetzirah. Punishment by stoning equates to Berea. And punishment by fire equates to Atziluth. And these, of course, are in the world of Asiya. The sword of the Holy One, blessed be He, Yud of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, is the top of the sword. The Vav of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh is the body of the sword, while the 2 Heys of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh are the 2 edges of the sword. And this is the secret meaning of justice. Only justice shall you pursue. Devarim 16:20. 2 verdicts are decided, literally cut, one from the celestial court and one from the terrestrial court, corresponding to Bina in the celestial court and Asiya in the terrestrial court, which is Malkuth. From this, we understand that a person cannot do the least thing down here unless permission is given from up high. And so here we have the first grade of the punishment by Samael. And here we have the Yud as the top of the sword, the Vav as the base of the sword, and the Hey as the blades of the sword. And this corresponds to the grade of Asiya. And here, in Tikkuni HaZohar, in the 21st Tikkun, it says, Yud of the name Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh is the head of the sword. Vav of the name Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh is the body of the sword, and the Hey and Hey of the name Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh are the 2 edges of the sword. The sheath of the sword, meaning the vessel in which the sword is concealed, is in the name Adonai. And the unification of kissing that applies by the upper 3 Sephirot that shines from below upwards, meaning the upper 3 worlds. And so, too, below, and the unification of the Yesods that shine from above below. The sheath of the sword is in the unification, is the name Adonai combined with Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, which combined together creates Yadonai, which is the passage here. And this is confirmed in book 22. And it says, the sheath of the sword, meaning the container where the sword is hidden, is the name Adonai. And here we have Adonai, which is Aleph, Dalet, Nun, and Yud. And the sword, Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, which is concealed within it. This all corresponds to the grade of Asiya. The punishment, the precept to punish by strangulation, in the cantillation mark Zarka, which is a line that looks like this. There's a line with a Yud entwined around it. The line is the Vav that corresponds and is extended from the Yud. With that Vav, Samael is caught. This accords with the meaning of, and they carried it between 2 on a pole, Bamidbar 13:23. What is the pole of that wicked Samael? He responds, it is man, who is Yod Ha Vav Ha, which is 45 in numerical value. We have 2 things explicitly mentioned here. Samael is equated with Yod HaVavha. And in my book, Sefer Yira, you will see in the commentary regarding Genesis, the serpent there too is equated with this name. And the secret is in the mystery of the beard. But what we will be analyzing here is it says that the line is Vav, that extends from the Yud. And this corresponds to the grade of Yetzirah. And this is to punish Samael by means of strangulation, which is Yud, Ha, Vav, Ha, in which the Yud is the loop, and the Vav is the line, and the He are 5 fingers of the right hand, and the He are 5 fingers from the left hand. To punish Samael with stoning, that is with a stone, which is the Yud, it is thrown at him with 5 fingers, that are the He, and the outstretched arm, that is the Vav, and with the shoulder, where the He lies. And the thought, and here's an allusion to Berea, and here's the word Mok, Shabbat, and Mok refers to the Mochin, throws that stone at him, which is the explicitly pronounced name Yud-He Vav-He. And here, in the world of Berea, which corresponds to Mochin, we have Yud, which is the stone, He, which is the 5 fingers, Vav, which is the outstretched arm, and He, which is the chest. And to punish Samael with burning through wood, with which to kindle the fire. Blessed is that body that is wood. Its members are pieces of wood in which a fire shall burn, which is the fire of the commandment. In each member to burn Samael by the supernal Shekinah, that is Bina, which a tree of life, that is Tiferet, and with all trees, meaning Sephirot, that are attached to Tiferet. When the fire of the higher descends over the wood of the sacrifice, the stranger that comes near shall be put to death. Bamidbar 151. Because he will be burned in the fire. That is the meaning of, and the fire on the altar shall be kept burning in it. Blessed is he who attains and is attached to the tree of life, which is Zerayin Pin, with his body and limbs, for he is a candle. Each branch is a candle of a commandment, with his 248 positive commandments that correspond to the 248 body parts. That is a commandment candle for each body part. And here, with burning, Tikkuni HaZohar, and Tikkun 21 reveals the Yud is the Kol, and the Vav is the fire, and the He represents the blazing of the fire from 2 sides, which shine 2 colors. And this is in the secret of the burning bush, as we will see. And so here we have punishment by sword, which corresponds to Asiya, and is in the sheath called Adonai. Here, which is Yetzirah, and corresponds to the punishment of Samael by strangulation. And here is Berea, which corresponds to death by stoning. Tikkuni HaZohar reveals that this stoning occurs by 3 stones, which are Yud, Yud, and Yud, corresponding to these 3 worlds. And Yud is the gematria 10, so that's 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 30. This is the value of Yud, He, Vav, He, which is Yud is 10, He is 5, Vav is 6, He is 5, that's 26, and plus 1 for each letter, 1, 2, 3, 4, equals 30. And here we see and death by fire, which Yud is the coal, Vav is the flame, and He are the brightnesses of the flame which shine to 2 sides. And this is also the secret of the burning bush. And of this burning bush, it says here, when both the tree of life and the commandment candle, which are Zerayin Pin and Malkuth, are attached to that man, this verse will be applied. The bush burned with fire, but the bush was not consumed, namely man. Samael and the serpent, and all his ministers attached to that man's body, which are thorns, will be combusted, but the branches of the bush and its fruit and leaves will not be combusted. The Holy One, blessed be he, revealed this and pointed this out to Moshe. And one will ascend from the grade of Asiya into the Yisod. And it is written of those who obtain that grade, the righteous will be standing in the world to come. Righteous here referring to Yisod, and standing referring to a complete Partsufim, which here in this case would be the Partsuf of the world of Asiya, which is Malchut, in which there are 10 Sephirot. And this is called standing. With that being said, the burning bush, which are the Sephirot, and the fire, which shines blue, yellow, red. The fire of Bina, as it is written, your Torah is a fire. And this combusts Ra'in Pina Malchut, which are the forms. And it is said of this, and he filled the house with knowledge. All glory be to Hashem. Amen. Shalom. Selah.